Janaya.
Good
Like
evening, guys.
Instagram Live?
Good evening, guys. Welcome to our third Raiders Table Talk here, where we get the voice of the student body. This is produced by the yearbook team. Before we start, if you ever want to be on a Raiders Table Talk, feel free to DM us at Raiders Yearbook on Instagram, Raiders Yearbook on Twitter, and Raiders Yearbook on Facebook to get on the show. So today's topic is sports, and today we're going to go through a variety of topics. But before we start off, we want to go ahead and introduce everyone. So first, my name is Janaya Sutherland. I'm a two-sport varsity athlete. I play basketball and softball. Yes, that's this other sport I play. So we could pass it on to Darren. You want to introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Darren. I only play one sport. I'm a varsity cheerleader. I've been cheering for 2 years, 3 if you count this year.
My name is Kofi. I'm on the yearbook crew. I did cross country and track from sophomore to junior year, and at the end of junior year, I started doing sports photography.
My name is Jeremiah. Yeah, I played cricket in middle school. That's pretty much it.
And you're on the yearbook team, right? Yeah, yearbook team, stand up. Woo.
The yearbook team.
Kofi's going to start us off tonight with some questions that he has, and then we're going to discuss on this. This will be a 2-part series, hopefully 3 if it is extended, right? So today is the first part, and Kofi has some questions for right now. Before we go to Kofi, we want to introduce someone who just joined, right? He's going to introduce himself. Franz?
Yeah. My name is Ron. I'm junior. I'm kind of close to like my best bud. So yeah, I feel like I can throw myself. I'm right closer to.
I'm sorry, Franz. We could not hear you at all.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
I said my name is Ron. Um, I'm a senior at Roosevelt for 2021. I only know Goku this time. Yeah, and I run track across country.
Okay, you were in track and cross country. I know with track, there's events. What events do you run?
I run the 400, 800, sometimes the 4x4, the 4x8, but 400, 800 my main.
That's good stuff. Okay, Kofi.
Okay. I want to ask the panel something first. Actually, do you guys want to lead more so with general sports or with school sports?
I personally, I don't watch sports,
Mhm.
but I do play sports at school. So if we lean to school sports, that fits me. Well,
Okay,
Darren, you have a
No, I don't really have a preference. I mean, either is fine.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think we should start off with school sports. If we have time, we'll transition.
Okay, great. So, our first general question slash discussion starter is, how did everyone feel about sports getting canceled this year due to Corona?
I suck. Yeah, that's because for me, like, track is like, if I could have run, so I was mad that they took sports away. Like, they could have picked the school in general for sports. I was thinking about that, but I kind of got used to it and just started training on my own. But yeah, I was affected, but I kind of just doing stuff at home.
What type of training did you do?
I usually go on long runs, medium runs, I work out. Sometimes sometimes I do strength training like stuff like that.
Okay.
So for me, that's sports being canceled, it hit hard. It hurt, man. It really hurt. But at first, they didn't really say it was canceled. Like at first they pretended like there was still hope. And that's what actually bugged me out. Like, if you're just gonna cancel it, just say that. Like, just say that. You didn't have to, oh, we're gonna push it back. Oh, we're gonna start in December instead of November. Actually, we're gonna start in February. Like, if you were gonna cancel it, like you could have just said that from the beginning. And I never realized before how much sports was a daily routine because I've been playing sports for school since fifth grade. So sports has been in my routine. Like in fifth grade to eighth grade, I was a three-sport athlete. Then high school, I dropped soccer because I was like, I don't need it. And so now it's like you took that away and you just saying, oh, it's gonna come back. It's gonna come back. And then it's just gone. Like I know a lot of people right now, they're happy because they're getting their sport back. But basketball is still gone. Like basketball is still gone. It's not like we're getting it back. But I feel like they could have just been honest and upfront about it. Like they didn't have to sugarcoat it.
Yeah, same. I know for me, it was really disappointing because we actually had a competition coming up, but that got canceled. And then just in general, training wise, it's been hard because cheer is such a collaborative sport. Things like stunting and that just can't happen anymore because of Corona. So
Yeah, that really sucks, man. Like, and I miss seeing other people. Like that's daily interaction right there. And I guess I feel like we could have still had some sports socially distanced, even if there weren't competitions. Because I remember at one point they were saying, "Well, we could play, but you can't compete." Like I was like, "Okay, that's fine. Oh, that's fine." Because I play sports outside of school, right? I only play basketball outside of school, and we were able to have competition mask outside, socially distant, and it was still better than just not having it at all. But I guess county rules.
Yeah, I think another thing was kind of ruined like some people's scholarships and all. Is like you see like other states have sports and all back, and so like you're at a huge disadvantage when it comes to getting scholarships. So I think like a lot of people were like counting on scholarships and all to get through college, and now that's gone. So
Yeah, I was about to get into that actually. How would you guys say? I know some of you aren't seniors, but how would you guys say um the cancellation, the sports getting canceled has affected like your mentality for college or your college availability?
I want to actually speak on that. Even though I'm not a senior, like I know I'm not a senior, but this is the year that counts the most. Like athletically for me and academically, of course, it's junior year. Your grades matter. And so not having sports was a big adjustment to my schedule. I never realized this until COVID that I don't do homework at home. Like I never realized I do not do homework at home. I do homework in between practices, in the car, on the bus, in school, in class. Like I never realized how much sports actually affected me, and it impacted my grades a little bit, more than a little bit. And then with sports too, basketball junior year is the year that you're looked at. Like other sports, I know some sports you don't get offered for that sport until like spring of your senior year. Basketball, what you do junior year is what counts. Senior year, that you could play however, it doesn't really matter as long as you don't get kicked off the team. Like it just doesn't matter. But junior year is that year for you, and it definitely had an impact. Not gonna lie, it had a great impact.
Yeah. It definitely have an impact, but for me, like at first it did kind of ruin my mentality a little bit, like thing, but for like my season got canceled. But at the same time, I feel like in my personal opinion, I feel like 2020 got hit the hardest, especially 'cause that was their year to shine, especially for Texas, because the senior count. But apart from that, that kind of created an opportunity for track and cross country. Like they have set standards to recruit, so they just recruit based on your previous time from like freshman year, sophomore year. So I feel like I kind of in a way had it easy because there weren't any recruiting standards. Like you could, they only based recruiting off of your time from previously. So I mean, I was impacted a little bit, but not really. The only bad part was like just seeing my fellow seniors just not having their season. So that kind of made me feel a way, also made me feel a way too. That's just my take on it.
Yeah, I definitely feel for the seniors. I wish they could have had their season. I'm not a senior either, but I know my little brother, he plays football. He's only a freshman, but still, this will be time for him to get scouted by the private schools, the St. John's, the DeMathas. So I know he's been really disappointed that he hasn't had that time to get any time on the playing field. And then for just sports in general, especially contact sports, not having any contact or physical interaction with the other teammates for a year is that's something you're definitely going to have to adjust to once you get back on the field.
Yeah, I want to go back to what Janaya said about like people's like they lost like their drive to get grades or like that because like people sometimes have like sports as their release from reality and like without that like they lose motivation and they lose their drive and passion. So
Yeah, just I didn't even think of that. Like for me, I went from being like I never really had a lack of motivation for school. Like I'm in science and tech. I've had like a over a 4.0 like for forever. Like I remember the first time I got a B, I cried. Okay, like it's like that for me. And so like when I saw that I really had no motivation, I was shocked. I was really shocked. And so I could only feel for people who barely had motivation before and their only motivation was I need a 2.0 to stay on the team to going to there is no team for me to stay on. Now what? Now what? Like it's crazy.
I agree fully. I always thought about it like even though I don't really do sports anymore, but I know a lot of athletes and I always felt for them. And I was always kind of waiting for news of sports might come back and stuff. But based on like my friends, I know it was very mentally challenging, not knowing if sports are gonna come back and knowing like how is this gonna affect my college experience. But now that sports, this is a great way to transition into the next topic, kind of. Um, since spring sports are somewhat coming back, I want to know like, are you guys training? How do you feel about it? Are you worried about Corona? Have you started training, etc.?
We just had our first practice on Wednesday of this week. It was definitely different and something to adjust to, especially since you can only have 10 people at practice at a time. So that is definitely odd that you can't practice with your entire team. Practicing with the mask is also a bit difficult outside, like breathing wise, when you're conditioning, when you're working out. But I mean, you have to stay safe, which is completely understandable. I'm just happy to be back, at least a little bit, even if it is a couple times a week with only 9 other people. I'm just happy to be back.
Do the cheerleaders practice at Rose?
Yeah, we do.
Okay. Do you guys see any other teams or athletes?
I saw the volleyball team, the football team. I want to say, I don't, there was another team out there, but I'm not sure what sport they were, but there was definitely a couple of teams out there.
Okay.
For softball, I know they start soon. We haven't started yet, but I don't think it'll be too much of an adjustment because softball, you're not next to anyone the entire time, anyways. So like you're naturally social distance in a softball game, softball practice, all of that. So the only thing getting to adjust it will be like wearing a mask. But for basketball, I played in a league recently, like for a couple weeks, and we had to play basketball with mask on, which is it's a bit hard because you're constantly running up and down, constantly. And so I feel like it won't be that bad standing, waiting for a ball to be hit to me. You know, should be okay.
Okay, Franz.
I apologize. Can you repeat the question again, sir?
You're good. Oh, repeat the question.
Yeah, can you repeat the question, sir?
Okay. So I was just curious, like since spring sports are somewhat coming back, have you started training again? What are your thoughts on coming back to train, et cetera, et cetera?
Uh, yeah, I have been training like that. Like, Um, coming back, I mean, it's a good thing that they're definitely looking into that. Oh, sorry. It's a good thing that they're definitely looking into sports back. But I don't know. Personally, for me, it doesn't matter this much. I'll be out anyways. But for the next class, like the junior, so freshman, I just hope that they have a better season because to some people, sports like Janae, my name here is that it's like sports is a big, big thing for them, especially going to the scholarship to the college, kind of like a program. So I just hope that their season or their high school career, sports career, is definitely better than what happened to us. So yeah.
Okay. Um, this is a question for anybody and everybody. What kept you guys motivated?
I think, like Janai said earlier, with me being in the science and tech program, school has always been a motivation. So I guess just the fact that I've always been academically driven, that's really the only thing that keeps me motivated.
Yeah, that would have to be it for me too, because without sports at first it really hit hard. I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. Well, I didn't say that at first. I was like, oh my gosh, why is school so hard? Like I never realized. I was like, school is hard? What? Who would have thought calculus was hard? Like, who would have thought AP chemistry was hard? Like, I would have never thought that last year. I was thinking, okay, I'll take 4 APs. It'll be easy, easy. It'll be a breeze. And then it comes, and then it just knocked me like a ton of bricks. And I was like, wow. And so, what happened to motivate me once I regained my motivation was school's important. Yeah, that's what I forgot for a second. I forgot that school, there's more to school than sports. I'm still trying to grasp that, but it's more to school than sports. That's what motivated me.
Okay. Franzi.
Yeah, well, I feel like it's a lot of things that motivated me. Um, One of them being that I just wanted to break my time, like in general, because I wanted to run faster times than my freshman sophomore year. And also, like those were trash years for me, especially doing a lot of injuries. That kind of set me back a little bit. Um, and yeah, just like I want to continue running in college, so I just have to keep that up, like keep training up and stuff like that. Uh, yeah, but like they said, school, it wasn't it for me, but I kept it moniker like 3.0, like highest 3.9 GPA. But school was the thing for me. Like when they took school, I was happy, but when they took sports, that's what like kind of messed me a little bit. Like, dang, like what am I gonna do now? But I just have to keep pushing myself, like, keep going. Like, hey, you got not the end of the world.
Okay. I wanted to see all your thoughts on other states getting sports, like Florida, despite all this Corona stuff, like they still had sports. I think I had a friend who moved from Maryland to Florida just so she could have school because she also does cheerleading. So I wanted to see what your thoughts were.
Can I go
I
live?
think it's, oh, you can go.
Nah, you can go. You got it, ladies first. Sorry.
I think it's kind of crazy. I think in general, the idea that like each state can have its own decision right now on Corona is stupid. Because I mean, if it's in one place, you can just track it to other places. Like, duh. I mean, I get sports are important, but like Janai said, there's more to school than sports, and you can, I don't know, just wait, be safe, don't get people sick, don't have people die.
Okay.
At first I was like, dang, like they look so happy because when you look at athletes playing sports, they feel so happy. Like you're doing you, but like you're just happy, carefree. Like those couple of seconds, those couple of minutes playing, like you're so carefree. But to answer the question, it's like I was jealous a little bit. Like, dang, y'all really get that, but then I'm just sitting in my house, not doing anything at all. It's like I wish that could be me. But yet again, I have to remember that was during the time when COVID was still hot. So it's like it doesn't make any sense at the moment to kind of like just split up everything and have the kids have a seat. So it's like it's a 50-50. Like it's good, but it's also like it's a double-edged sword. Like you're gonna just because eventually get COVID at some point. But I mean, they still had a season, so I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. It is a double edged sword. I feel like I feel terrible that other states have sports, but at the same like I feel like if we would have all the whole world would just shut down for a month at the beginning of COVID, there'll be no COVID. Okay, there would have been no COVID. Shut the borders down, everything, right? Everyone quarantined. There'd be no COVID now. But then, like everyone opening up, and it hurts because in a couple weeks, couple months, I'm gonna be playing these same people who've been playing for the past months. Like I who haven't been playing in a year, I'm gonna go against these kids, not kids, but young
Hmm.
adult teenagers who've been playing and practicing, been in the gym every day. Gyms have been shut down. Gyms have been shut down, and we're still gonna have to go play them. Before it was hard enough going to Indiana, whatever, and playing people who all they do is eat and get to go to the gym. They don't have other stuff. And now it just makes it worse because they were able to be having competition with other people, like not just working out. So at least I don't know if I want to say they should have shut everything down or if they should just open everything up, but it just hurts. It just hurts
Me
a
too.
lot.
I agree completely. Like I definitely felt like a bit of hurt and some jealousy from other states. And I was completely shocked. Like Florida, at one point they were saying like Florida was the world center for Corona. So I was really confused. Like that just doesn't make sense to me. And me personally, even though I don't do sports, I still wanted to like take pictures of sports and stuff like that. So that hurt me personally. But I feel like it depends on the state because I get what you mean, Darren. Like certain states shouldn't have the right to like just decide something like that. But maybe if they have very, very low rates and they're actually completely safe about it, then maybe they could have some limited sports practices. But states like Florida, no.
The
Yeah,
people
I
who are
agree.
open, the ones that are have the limited rates are the same ones who have the highest rates that are opening. If you ever look,
Yeah.
the highest rates are the ones that are opening.
Like the areas like Florida shouldn't have opened. I don't think. Like maybe like a state like Montana or something that has limited people can open, but not Florida. And also, I feel like Florida opening, like going back to the first point, it kind of puts Maryland athletes at like a disadvantage with like recruiting and all, like the sports and recruiting. Like if you're like a college scout, like you see Florida's open, why would you wait for a Maryland athlete? Like if the Florida athlete is like just a little bit worse than the Maryland athlete, and you don't have to wait for them to compete, you might as well just recruit the Florida athlete over the Maryland athlete. So it's just disadvantages all around.
Yeah, I definitely get what you're saying with the disadvantage, but again, I think it just goes back to being safe. I mean, on the bright side, more vaccines are coming out. It seems like every day another company is coming up with a better, new and improved vaccine. But again, it's just about, and also it's a slippery slope because even if there are states with low cases. Let's say we open up sports and practices again, you risk having those cases go back up, and then we're back at square one, and we have to wait and start all over again. So I definitely agree with the disadvantages, and like y'all said, it's just a double-edged sword. You just have to be careful.
Yeah, I agree. Like you definitely have to be safe and you have to like I feel like now is like it's like a decent time to open up because like right now like you've seen cases go down since like January 13th. So and people are getting vaccinated, but yeah, it is a double-edged sword in the sense that you want like athletes to be rewarded for their hard work because like some people put in like this is their senior year, they've put in 3 years already, and so you want them to be rewarded, but you also want them to be safe because like it's, because the risk is like it's like they get really sick. So I mean, it is.
Okay.
And with
So
what Jeremiah said with the whole recruiting aspect too, like it really does hurt because like colleges don't only recruit from one state. Colleges recruit state countrywide. Like only 1% of student athletes go to college and play sports, right? Even if it's at the JUCO level, it's only 1% that go to play college sports. And so if you see that, okay, I know there's a whole bunch of athletes in Texas and Florida that are improving their game right now. Let me just recruit them from there. Thankfully, like for me, like the colleges that I speak to are like in New York and Pennsylvania, places that are still also currently closed. And thank God that Maryland, the DMV is a basketball heavy area. It's just like that's where a lot of colleges want to recruit at. But if they was football, like that is a pain right there. Like I can't even show you that I made improvements. I just grinded my butt off all summer. All after junior year ended, I grinded my butt off. So I'm talking from their perspective, right? I grinded my butt off, and now I want to show you all the work that I've done. You can't even see it. Like they can't even see it. They can't even go to a JUCO and show you because no JUCO is looking at them. Like, great point, Jeremiah.
Yeah, I agree with your last one. Like some people like they have like a major improvement between junior year and senior year. And it's like they can't show it. And like not even JUCO's open, so like they can't choose that route and show it. So it's like their career is almost over unless like a D2 or D3 school comes calling. So
wait, what are you guys referring to when you say JUCO?
JUCO is junior
college.
college.
Ah, right,
Yeah,
right.
those like levels of school. So D1, D2 are like the highest level. They all give money for athletics. D3 they don't give no money, but they're academically focused schools. JUCO, just junior college, that's where people go. Those are like 2 year college, like PGCC,
Mm.
Montgomery College, places like that. And then there's something else called NAIA, and they give money too. But being
Um,
an NC,
JUCO gives college money, but they can disguise it as a form of education.
Isn't JUCO like right underneath D1?
no,
JUCO is way at the bottom, like after
yeah,
NAIA. Yeah.
yeah. So there's like some NAIAs that compete at the D2, D3 level. Some NAIAs can compete at the D1 level, but low D1. JUCOs are typically like the athletes that want to go D1 or D2, but they have to start smaller because of sometimes it's their grades. If you ever watch, I think it's Last Chance U. They had I'm pretty sure that's a JUCO, and a lot of their athletes end up going D1 or NFL, NBA. I don't know what sports right now. Before, when I watched the first season, it was NFL. So they go to professional sports. So that's how that works.
Okay, I wasn't aware, but oh shoot, Darren, go ahead. My bad.
Um, when you guys are talking about recruiting and feeling bad for those juniors who definitely improved their game into their senior year, I think it'd be an interesting time to bring up reclassing and having some kids reclass. This would be the perfect opportunity to reclass because you want these recruits, you want these scouts to see your improvement. So that may be a solution if they're willing to stay back a year.
Yeah, that has been like a topic. Like I've seen a
That
lot of
was
people
one of the
talking about like
topics actually. I was gonna wait till the next live, but now's a perfect time.
like a
So
lot of people are. a lot of people are like thinking about either reclassing because of their competition, they can't show their improvements. And then some people are just going at it because they don't have to worry about the academic part. Because I know like a lot of schools right now, like a lot of schools, they're waiving their SAT, waiving their ACT. They'll take your GPA with a grain of salt. They'll say, oh, it was struggles because of COVID. Like a lot of people are taking that part and running with it, as where others are like, you didn't get to see me play, I'm a reclass, like it's like, I don't want to say they're like two major ends of a pole, you know what I'm saying, like opposites.
I was just talking to my little brother about like the politics of sports in school and just how complicated things can get, and just have to be strategic about everything. Even at a young age, even starting your freshman year, you have to make sure you plan everything out to make sure you can get to where you want to get to.
Definitely, because there are people who reclass as eighth graders. Like there are people who reclass as early as eighth grade just so they have another year before they have to choose what high school they're going to. Because they don't know if they want to go to the Mather, they don't want to know if they're going to go to Roosevelt, they don't know if they're going to go to another private school where they might get more playing time. Like there's so many sports politics. Like sports is complicated sometimes, man.
Would you guys reclass? I know y'all
I
aren't seniors, but if you were seniors,
I know a lot of kids who have reclass, and they definitely have their reasons. I can understand why some of them do. Mostly football players, especially because, weight, height, are you bulking up, your skill. But me personally, I don't think I would reclass. Like Janaya said, this is a prime time academically to go to the schools you want to go to, because they're not taking the SAT. Because if you want to say, oh, I did bad this quarter because of what happened during Corona, they're more likely to be like, okay, sure. So I think it just depends on whether or not you want to go academically to school or focus more on athletics.
Yeah,
I
I agree
think
with
the
that.
the only like problem with reclassing is like it backs up the like future. I would say like if like a senior reclass, like a 2021 senior reclass, then that stops maybe like a 2024 freshman from getting on the varsity team, because the 2021 senior that reclass has a spot on varsity. So like the only like the flip side of reclassing is that like it backs up other people. But like for yourself, I would say like there's not, I mean, if you have offers, then it's a bad idea. But like if you don't, then you might as well.
Yeah,
With
that's
what you
the
said,
thing.
you can go,
I was just
Janaya.
gonna say, like right now, last year, the NCAA granted everyone another year of eligibility. So that backed up a lot of things. Like when I talked to coaches, like before they said they had like five seniors graduating, but because the NCAA granted another year of eligibility, not everyone's graduating. Only one senior is graduating because they want to go off to start their profession. Or this person, they decided since they get another year of eligibility, they're just going to go ahead and start their master's degree and stay at the school, like, and stay on scholarship. That takes up a spot, that takes up money from an incoming freshman. That's one less roster spot. That's a hundred less prospects that can come to the school, can visit, can talk to the coach. It's a lot with that whole reclassing thing. And it's like they did a global reclassing with NCAA last year.
Like you and Jeremiah were saying, Janaya, it is disappointing and it is frustrating to the incoming freshmen, but it's kind of just like the way of the game. Colleges want their money, athletes want their playing time, they want to go to the league too. So it's just, I don't know, it's rough and everybody's going to be disadvantaged in some way. You just have to know how to play the game.
Yeah, I think you gotta look after yourself, because like the freshman that's like like honestly, like the freshman that's coming up isn't gonna pay for your college if you don't get a scholarship. So you gotta look after yourself. And about the NCAA, like they this kind of off topic, but like they completely like messed up that entire reclassing thing. They should have expanded roster spots probably, but it is what it is.
Yeah,
Um,
we wish,
I
but oh, sorry, friends, Franz.
I kind of agree. Like it's a double-edged sword as well. Like reclassing is a good idea. You get that extra bit of money college to get you. But yet again, like looking at it from a different standpoint, like how does it? I want to like how does it feel or look upon someone like you're 18 and still a junior? It's kind of like a bad reps, like oh you probably stay back. So it's like if you kind of listen at that, it's kind of like a hard thing. Um, also about the NCAA granted 1 year, I feel like that's a good thing in my opinion because like I said, a lot of teams got their year the season cut off, so it's like giving them that extra year to kind of still participate in the sport is a good thing. Because one, they're able to hang out with the younger, the lower classmen, like their friends, and they're still able to finish out their season too. So it's like it's a win-win situation. I mean, upcoming classmen still get their time eventually. It's just that they're kind of focused and still giving another shot to be able to finish their season. It's kind of like end it with a bang or just have fun at the same time too. So I think that's a good thing in my opinion.
Okay. So, our last question for tonight is if the only way you could have your season back was to take the vaccine, would you? And basically, how are you feeling about the vaccine in general?
I would do it. I would take the vaccine. I actually got corona over the break. Wasn't even my fault, which was really frustrating because I did everything that I was supposed to do. I followed all the rules, but I would take it. Corona's not fun. It's not fun. I wouldn't want to get it again. I definitely wouldn't want it to give it to anyone else. So I'd rather take the vaccine than catch. I still can't even. I can't smell. I don't have corona anymore, but I still can't smell, and it's been almost 2 months. We're pushing 3 months now, so I would take the vaccine.
Yeah. Um, I totally get you on that part where the symptoms stay. Like people fail to talk about it, but a lot of people the symptoms stay, and so COVID is not something to play with. Um, for me, I'm terrified of needles. Like I have a deadly fear of needles. I think the last flu shot I got, I cried, and yeah, I was this was this year, as I'm 17, right? I still cry. It's just really scary. And so I've seen the COVID vaccine. My mom got it and my grandmother got it. My mom got both of them. My grandmother just got her first one. And it's scary. Okay. It's scarier than the flu shot. Okay. I I don't know if that was the only option, my only option, I would have to cry and take it. I would have to. I would have to. Like, that's basically putting a gun to my head. That's an equivalent. And I had to take it.
I mean, I don't play sports, but like I would still take the vaccine like just as a normal person because like I'm kind of sick and tired of being at home and like I just want to just go places and not have to worry about corona. So, but the needles thing, yeah, that's something I have to think about.
Needles are
Yeah, I kind
terrible.
of gotta agree with that. Um, I still have a season, but regardless of putting sports into it, I would still take it. It's like better safe than sorry. Even if something does happen, you still took it, so it's not um like that's how I feel. But yeah, needles though, I'm terrified of needles. I can't do it. Like every time I get a shot, I either wimp, my parents laugh at me, or I just clench my fist and hard. It just hurts for like extra 3 more weeks. But yeah, needles.
Y'all be afraid of needles?
Well, you know
I'm
Needles
how
terrified.
are
deadly
scary.
those things are.
No.
Needles are
Needles are not
terrible.
scary. No, they're not.
Oh my
Yeah, I
gosh.
swear y'all
They
are built
are.
different, but you're not. Y'all are not built different. I just
Exactly.
Nah,
That's crazy.
I mean, I don't love it,
It
but
gives
like
maniac. It gives crazy. That's what it gives. It
I
gives
had
psycho.
one.
It's like someone's trying to stab you. Like
I
it's just
mean, that's what it is.
exactly. So it's just like it's kind of weird.
Want to be stabbed? You want to be stabbed?
Exactly.
It's
Like,
No, but
it's in and out. It's done. It doesn't hurt. It's not scary. Just done.
it gives you want to be a vampire.
Gary, what are you talking
It gives
about? Like, imagine looking at especially the needles like mad long and thick. It's like that's worse. Or getting your blood drawn. That's the worst part because it's
oh
thick.
yeah, I had one bad experience with that. I was getting my blood drawn, and I don't know what it was. That lady, I don't know if she wasn't paying attention, but she kept moving it, and like, nah, it was throwing me. I was getting my blood drawn. It felt like a minute or maybe more, but the needle kept moving, and it was just super uncomfortable.
I have never even thought about having that type of fear, and you just planted it in my mind. You just planted it in my mind. You see why
Exactly,
needles are
exactly.
terrifying. Man, it's like if you like needles, that gives like you wanted to be on My Babysitter is a Vampire, like and it never gave that.
No, but I would want to be on My Babysitter's a Vampire easily. Easily.
I would too, but still.
Okay, well, I think that's it for tonight. I want to thank everybody who came up. I know it wasn't supposed to go this way. There were supposed to be more athletes and all, but this actually went very, very, very well. So I want to say thank you to everybody. Thank you, Janaya. Thank you, Darren. Thank you, Jeremiah. Thank you, Franz. Thank you, Gazelle. And yeah, have a good night. Oh,
And we'll
and
see you
Darren,
next
Beauty,
week.
drop your Instagram.
Franz, go to sleep.
Oh, we're supposed to all give our Instagrams. I forgot. Darren, Franz, you guys can start.
I
I
don't
have
really.
Instagram, but my joint's deactivated because I'm taking a wellness break. But it's Franz 4K FRA 4 letter K all over.
Okay. I don't really use my Instagram like that, but you can follow me at Dazzle Darren. It's just the word dazzled and then Darren. You can see it spelled right there. So
Jeremiah.
My Instagram is jvarkey _. So it's J and then my last name _.
My Instagram is Kofi's World without the O.
Don't you have like a business page? Don't you want to
That is a
tag
business
that?
page.
Oh, that's the business. Okay. My Instagram is JJ JJSUDDY. It is in my name. If you ever see me on Zoom, it's in my name all the time. So yeah, catch me there.
Oh right.
So how does that work with colleges? Like, do they be like, do we call you Jania or JJ Study? Like, how does that work? Do you change it or?
Well, my name is Janaya, and no one ever asked me for my Instagram. I just put it in the
No, I'm saying like if you're talking to a coach in general, like you take the ad out and just like put your name so it's more professional, quote unquote.
He's got jokes. Ignore him.
I mean, like, would they like treat it as like a nickname or?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, would it be a nickname?
People call me JJ Study, but it's not a nickname. People just call me that. Like in the hallways at school, people used to be like, "Hey, JJ Study." Other people call me JJ, but my name is Janaya and I go by Janaya. That's what you're asking?
I think Franz's question is like, if you're meeting a college coach and they see JJ Study in your name, like, would they think that's a nickname, and would they like ask you, like, should we call you Janaya or JJ Study?
You mean via Zoom?
Yeah.
Meet a coach via Zoom.
Yeah, that was Franz's question.
Oh, that's your question?
Yeah, that was my question. He basically just made it more smart. Yeah, thank you for that, Jeremiah.
Okay. Sometimes I probably would just log in with my school email because they be changing my name back. I don't know how they do it. Sorcery. When I log into Zoom, when I log into classes, my name will be Janaya Sutherland. I'm like, hold on, how do you know my last name? But that's what happens.
Okay, thank you for the clarification, man.
Welcome.
And Darren, I wanted to ask, do you have a sister?
I don't have a sister. Why?
You look smack like Anaya or Inya. I don't know how to pronounce the name, but you look smack like somebody that goes to Rose.
Yeah, no, I have a little brother, but I don't have a sister. Now I want to see what she looks like. You have to tell me her Instagram.
Just go in
It's
the mirror and look at yourself. That's what she looks like.
jokes. But INYAH.C.
Did we finish? No, this is. I'm pretty sure this is recorded. So now you got a free shout out, Anaya.
Oh, I
Shout
hope
out to you.
we're not on live, but oh well.
No, I
Hey,
think I
Kobe,
know
can
who
I
you're
come over
talking
tomorrow?
about. Did she run track?
Yes.
And she's a junior, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know exactly who you're talking about. Yeah, we used to have class together.
Okay. Small world.
Hey, Kofi, can I pull up tomorrow?
So we're gonna end this live.